I've lost some of life's battles. I've known defeat and distress. But I've not met defeat quite so grim and complete as when I lost to Freddie at chess. I've been dissed, dismissed, and demoted. I've even been dumped, I confess. But never disgraced, demeaned, and debased until I lost to Freddie at chess. He's 11, my grandson, and he's played a year or less. And I'll never forget the day that he said,
Grandpa, you want to play chess?
"Sort of busy today," I said. And then he asked me again. And he set up the board on the living room floor. And we sat down and set up our men. He advanced up the middle, and soon my bishop was caught in a three-way trap.
Oh, dear me.
I sent out a knight to join in the fight, and he got shot in the kneecap. My bishop stood in confusion.
Oh, dear, what a pickle.
He said.
O Lord, lift thine arm and preserve me from harm.
And Freddie lopped off his head. I castled my king to protect him, and I cautiously put forth a pawn. And in rode his knight in open daylight, and my other bishop was gone. We fought it out in the middle. We fought it out on the side. Men in the saddle rode into battle. One after the other they died. The air was filled with anguish. You could hear the bagpipes cry. The battleground shook from the march of the rook, and his knights went galloping by. My queen sat calmly knitting, protected by two loyal pawns.
What's all that shooting, shouting, and hooting out on our royal lawns? We do not choose to lower ourselves to engage in such crude pursuits. I'll stay right here and ignore them. Oh dear, such uncouth, uncivilized brutes.
Excuse me, Mum. It's me, your left rook.
Yes, pray tell, what is it? Don't pester me when it's time for my tea.
It's another queen, Mum, come to visit.
The other queen rode across the board. She was not what you'd call polite. She wore a t-shirt that said, "Eat my dirt." Her pants were pink, sequined, and tight. A cigarette dangled from her lower lip, and she carried a six-pack of beer, an axe and two knives and two .45s on a long leather bandolier. She was short and fat and ugly, and she yelled with all her might.
Oh, come out of your tower, you big fat coward! Get your butt on the field and fight!
She planted herself in my queen's face with only a pawn in between.
Who's that slut on the horse? Tut, tut! She certainly is no queen. Her hair is a mess, and that fishmonger's voice, and her manners, my, she is rough. Go see to her, Rook, and tell her I'll brook no insults from her, no insolent...
And my queen fell flat on her back with the other queen's foot on her neck. And she scratched and grinned, and she broke wind. As Freddie whispered,
Check.
I looked at my king, and he looked at me.
Oh dear, check, oh my. Well, it doesn't look good, but maybe I could find a way to play to a tie. Or maybe that pawn could run to the end and then be promoted to queen. I'm sure we've not lost, but at least at all costs, one must remain serene.
And he stood there serene and regal and proud as the enemy queen stood and laughed. As proud as could be, and my monarchy was feeling understaffed. A lowly pawn
Sorry, sir.
and a miserable knight and a rook made up our crew.
Oh, promise.
It looks rather gloomy, but come, rally to me, and we'll figure out what to do. Now, what shall we do?
And he brought out his charts, studied his books, and he muttered,
Let me see. The hypotenuse squared by the root of the hair of the dog times x over 3 and carry the 2 and divide by y.
And the handsome royal face was very concerned as he carefully turned and moved himself back 1 space. And the pawn said,
Brilliant.
the knight said,
Superb.
and the rook said,
Beautiful, sir.
and the king said,
My boy, it's a little-known ploy that is known as the Spanish spur. It was used by Grandmaster Peter O'Blennis in 1978, when it seemed he had lost.
and then the king paused, and Freddie said,
Checkmate.
and his queen moved 4 spaces back, killing the rook with 1 blow. And the king looked around at the bloody ground, and there simply was no place to go.
Impossible! Why, it cannot be. I'll escape. I'll find a route.
And the queen said,
Oh, yeah, you think so? Ha! Give up, you big galoot.
If only I could think. I must persevere. Dear me, a route of escape.
Now, throw down your sword and kneel on the board and kiss my foot, you big ape.
I must not give up. My army is scattered. I simply have to regroup it.
Hey, king, kiss my foot. It's over, kaput. What's wrong with you, you stupid?
my head felt strangely empty. It seemed like a terrible joke. My king was alone on his tiny throne, awaiting the final stroke. I said, look, there's a polar bear out on the lawn. But Freddie did not blink his eyes. I guess he had learned you should never turn your back on someone who lies. My king was dazed,
Oh, well, toodaloo. I surrender.
he said with a sigh, and the queen yelled,
Woo-hoo! Boogers on you!
and she looked up and spit in my eye.
Let's play a game. What do you say? You want to be black or white? Let's play again soon. This afternoon or after supper tonight.
And later my king said,
I've thought of a move I'm sure would have won the day. Look here, if this pawn had not stopped but gone on, things would have turned out okay.
I've dreamed of that game over and over, of the child who says,
Can we play?
and the battle roar, and the blood and the gore, as the bodies are carried away. A game of Parcheesi is gentle and easy, or Uno, or Sorry, my yes. And Monopoly is okay by me, but I do not play Freddie at chess.